rather than undermining the political legitimacy of Hamas, the political legitimacy of Hamas has, again from what I'm reading, has been enhanced by the war, by the war this past summer, and even though it was a military defeat for Hamas. But again, Hamas is going to be able to claim victory in a way, because in terms of getting the ceasefire, Israel is now agreeing to certain concessions that Hamas had been calling for years ago in terms of lifting of the blockade around Hamas, allowing salaries to be paid, allowing the Gazans to export goods to other countries. You saw the one map there with the fishing zones and dividing these fishing zones, and allowing Gazan farmers to have greater access to rich, fertile lands. And this is all sort of coming about. And from the Israeli point of view, while they might claim a military victory, they stopped the rocket fire, they destroyed these tunnels, is the political fallout has been severe. I mean, you had Secretary of State John Kerry, who was over there during the Gaza war and making his comment that was being carried about, well, if this is what the Israelis considered precision bombing, sarcastically, it's like rolling his eyes and, this is not precision bombing, what that was going on there. This was a massacre that was going on there. And then recently, Netanyahu was turned around and announced that Israel is going to build 2,400 more settlements or units. They call them neighborhoods. Palestinians call them settlements, that will effectively block East Jerusalem off from the West Bank, which in turn means that East Jerusalem would not be able to serve as a capital of an independent Palestinian state, which is what the Palestinians are calling for. And this has led to political estrangements between the Israeli government, the United States. Many think that Obama has sort of just kept his mouth shut. He met with Netanyahu, and he's just walking away from the whole thing. And some of you may have seen that yesterday or the day before in the British Parliament voted overwhelmingly on a resolution to recognize a Palestinian state. The vote was something like 284 in favor, 17 opposed. Now, I'm not sure how much weight to give to that, because the British Parliament, the House of Commons, has 650 members, so you had less than half the members who voted, so a lot of people sat that out. But what was very telling was a conservative member of Parliament who was a longtime supporter of Israel, got on the floor of the House of Commons and laid out his whole background of supporting Israel through the 67 to 73 war and so on, and basically said he was voting in favor of this resolution because of Israeli actions in recent weeks that made him look like a fool. And so, the political fallout is that momentum is gathering, that it's leading to, rather than to the political isolation of Hamas, is perhaps gradually to the further political isolation of Israel. And of course, if some of you follow this on campuses around the country, or just more generally at the social roots level, if you're familiar with the BDS movement, the Boycott Divestment Sanctions movement, that was applied against South Africa during the years of apartheid in the 1980s. There are many who have been pushing that this BDS grassroots movement that really took shape and is sort of the Palestinians' nonviolent response to opposing the Israeli occupation, took root, I believe it was the end of 2005, 2006. So there's a lot going on in terms of how you weigh what the ultimate political consequences are going to be of what happened this summer in Gaza. So let me sort of leave it at that. I know I left a lot of questions, issues